news desk of Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is News on the Hour.
In the headlines, federal government orders night repairs on Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Road. Ondo governor pardons 7 inmates. Akwa Ibom Assembly denies passing bill criminalizing sexual relationships with married men. DSS seizes 7 trucks illegally transporting lithium in Ilorin. On the foreign scene, United States President to meet Venezuelan opposition leader. In sports news, native doctor arrested in Mali after collecting 33,500 euros to guarantee AFCON victory. Good afternoon and thank you for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is the news on the hour. I am Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. We'll bring you details of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
We often think that mental health breakdowns sound like this.
I'm emotionally stressed. I'm emotionally downcast. I am so confused of all about life.
But in reality, they can sound like this. Don't make assumptions that people are okay just because they laugh and they smile. Everyone is going through something. Check on your friends and be kind to everyone else.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin.
Welcome back from that short break. Please note that you can listen to us via our website www.diamondfm.net or watch us live on Facebook at Diamond 87 FM and YouTube Diamond FM Ilorin. Now the news in detail. The federal government has ordered the immediate commencement of palliative works on the Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Road to address critical failures and restore traffic flow. Minister of Works Dave Umahi gave the directive during an inspection of the federal highway linking Lagos and Ogun State. Umahi said that although about 22 kilometers of the road were assessed, active intervention would focus on approximately 18 kilometers of the most distressed sections. The minister attributed the failures on the road to unresolved concession issues and incorrect engineering parameters adopted during earlier construction. According to him, repair works would commence immediately, mostly at night, and would target sections that currently hinder the free movement of our vehicles. The presidency has expressed dissatisfaction with the slow pace of work on the Abuja-Abaji, Cotton-Karfi and Lagos-Benin expressways, describing the conduct of the contractors as unacceptable and unsatisfactory. The senior special assistant to the president on community engagement for the North Central region, Dr. Abiodun Hiziet, who represented President Bola Tinubu during the inspection tour of the projects, warned contractors against making excuses about inadequate funding, noting that the contracts were awarded based on the assurances of capacity to deliver once advance payments were received. The Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, who was represented by the ministry officials, including the Federal Controller of Works in Kogi State, Engineer Paktiko Musa, assured that the ministry would address complaints of poor funding and delayed delivery of equipment raised by the contractors, adding that decisions would be taken immediately. Earlier, the contractors took turns offering explanations for delays, excuses that had previously triggered the termination of about 4 road contracts by the Minister of Works on the same Abuja-Lokoja corridor. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State has granted a state pardon to no fewer than 7 convicts, 7 various jail terms in the state. The clemency by the governor was coming on the heels of his 61st birthday anniversary. Aiyedatiwa, adding the spirit of the new year 2026, pardoned 77 inmates across the correctional facilities in the state. With the new set of inmates receiving the state pardon, the governor, in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Ebenezer Adenio, disclosed that the inmates received the grace based on reports of positive attitude as well as what he described as genuine remorse, while emphasizing that the decision was taken after thorough and due recommendations by the State Advisory Council on the prerogative of mercy. The governor harps on prison decongestion and restorative justice. Moving on from that story, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has denied reports that it is set to pass into law a bill seeking to criminalize sexual relationships with married men in the state. A statement issued today by the chairman, House Committee on Information, Honorable Jerry Otto, described the information as false and an attempt to tarnish the good reputation of the Assembly. He urged the public to disregard the information, noting that the House remains committed to its constitutional role of lawmaking and will not be swayed by mischievous attempts to undermine its integrity. A Facebook post by one Obiavel Albert Abigo claimed that the bill, allegedly sponsored by the Deputy Governor of the state, Senator Ekon Enyakeye, seeks to impose a 10-year prison sentence on women found guilty of engaging in sexual relationships with married men, while men would face a 2 million naira fine. Moving on to Kebbi State, the newly deployed Commissioner of Police in Kebbi State, CP Umaru Adejia, has assumed duty with a strong warning that the state will not be a safe haven for criminals. He gave the warning as he unveiled a security agenda focused on intelligence-led and community-driven policing. Adejia, who became the 38th police chief in the state, said his immediate priority is tackling cross-border crimes, kidnapping, and illegal arms movement across Kebbi's vast rural and border corridors. The state shares boundaries with neighboring Niger Republic and is considered one of Nigeria's vulnerable transit hubs for rural banditry in the northwest. He also pledged to run a police command anchored on professionalism, discipline, and respect for human rights. And in Kwara State, 7 trucks suspected to be involved in the illegal transportation of lithium ore have been seized in Ilorin, Kwara State, following a joint operation by the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and the Department of State Services, DSS. The operation, carried out by the Southwest Zonal Office of the Ministry in collaboration with the DSS Kwara State Command, is part of a clampdown on illegal mining and mineral theft across the country. The Southwest Zonal Mine Officer, Engineer Ganiyu Wasiu Ajibade, said the security operatives intercepted 7 of the trucks between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. along the Okolowo-Nyenkore Expressway in Ilorin. One of the drivers reportedly fled the scene, abandoning his vehicle, while the remaining drivers were arrested and taken into custody for questioning. Ajibade said preliminary interrogation of the drivers showed they were hired by an individual to convey the mineral consignment. And lastly, on the local scene, Madam Lucia Onobanjo, the wife of Ogun State's first civilian governor, Olabisi Onobanjo, has died at the age of 100. Her demise was announced by her daughter, Olubukola Onobanjo, in a statement released today. According to Onobanjo, the matriarch of the Onobanjo family passed away peacefully on Monday. The statement thanks God for her long and fulfilled life and for the enduring legacy of love, strength, and faith she leaves behind. Her husband, Chief Olabisi Onobanjo, was the first civilian governor of Ogun State, serving from 1979 to 1983. And that's it on the local scene. The news on the hour is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you foreign and sports news. Please stay with us.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still tuned in and listening to the news on the hour, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM. Lauren, before that break, we brought you local stories. Now we move on to the foreign scene. In foreign news, Venezuelan opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado will meet President Donald Trump on Thursday at the White House. The visit comes just weeks after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was seized in Caracas by U.S. forces. But Trump declined to endorse Machado, whose movement claimed victory in 2024's widely contested election as its new leader. The U.S. instead backed Delcy Rodriguez, Maduro's former vice president. The former legislator, who was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize last year, described the U.S. military action in Venezuela as a major step towards restoring prosperity, rule of law, and democracy in Venezuela. Still in foreign news, United States President Donald Trump has been briefed on military options against Iran over a violent crackdown on protests that has left more than 600 people dead, but is holding off for now after receiving private messages from Tehran, the White House said on Monday. Trump has repeatedly threatened military action if Iran uses deadly force against anti-government protesters, a red line Washington says Iran is starting to cross. Media reports indicate Pentagon officials have discussed the long-range missile attacks, cyber operations, and psychological campaign responses. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Trump is exploring messages from Iranian regime officials. Meanwhile, United States President Donald Trump has announced that he would impose 25% tariffs on countries doing business with Tehran, effective immediately, in his first action, penalizing Iran for the protest crackdown. And that's it on the foreign scene. Moving into the world of sport, a self-proclaimed native doctor who collected 33,500 euros by promising victory for Mali in the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON, was arrested for fraud after the team lost. Mali's national team was eliminated on Friday in the quarterfinals by Senegal 1-0. The man, identified as Mr. Sinayogo, collected more than 33,000 euros in donations. Following Mali's defeat, an angry mob showed up at his home before police intervened and removed him. Sinayogo was arrested in the Malian capital, Bamako, for fraud and was being held at the cybercrime division. The man, formerly known as a political activist, proclaimed himself a marabout overnight and made a fortune. Still in sports news, Alvaro Arbeloa has replaced Xabi Alonso as Real Madrid's head coach. In a statement, the club said Arbeloa, the B team manager, would take over the role as Real Madrid's manager. According to the club, Alonso left by mutual agreement. In a separate statement, Madrid then announced Arbeloa would take Alonso's place without specifying the length of the 42-year-old's contract. A day after the team lost the Spanish Super Cup final against Barcelona, the club parted ways with Alonso 8 months after his arrival and immediately appointed former Madrid player Arbeloa, who was coaching the Rivers side. And that's it in the world of sport. With that, we've come to the end of the news on the hour for today. But before we go, here's a recap of the major highlights. Federal government orders night repairs on Lagos-Ota Abeokuta Road. Ondo governor pardons 7 inmates. Akwa Ibom Assembly denies passing bill criminalizing sexual relationships with married men. DSS seizes 7 trucks illegally transporting lithium in Ilorin. On the foreign scene, 7 United States president to meet Venezuelan opposition leader. In sports news, native doctor arrested in Mali after collecting 33,500 euros to guarantee AFCON victory. Those are the major headlines as brought to you this afternoon. Before we wrap up the news, we take a look at our Today in History segment. Did you know that on this day in 1931, the first African woman publisher of novels, Florence Nwanzuruahu Nkiru Nwakpa, was born in Oguta, Imo State? Now you know. For news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact the Diamond FM newsroom number 091606-27526, 091606-27526. Join us at 3 p.m. for the news flash and at 5 p.m. for the news across the world for a comprehensive bulletin. Log on to our website www.diamondfm.net to keep up to date with us from any part of the world. Download our app on Google Play Store and iOS Apple Store, Diamond FM. The news on the hour was edited by Abiodun Akiwomi. I am Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. Thank you for listening to your shining supreme station. Do stay tuned for the news in Yoruba coming up shortly. Good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Diamond FM.
listen to the music.